downturn, I literally see it as a shift in business as usual, because we can get comfortable in operating in a certain way, and the market is now requiring us to shift. And I would love to get your weigh in on that a little bit later, but I want to shift to Vera to just get a different perspective. Vera, you're out in Portugal right now, and you also see things from the more astrological and spiritual and personal development standpoint. So I'd love your weigh in on, how businesses are coping, and your some suggestions on how they can get through this time.
Thank you, Hanna. It's such a delight to be here with you all. Well, astrology is an extremely ancient wisdom, and this is a huge wake-up call. I would say that we are in the confluence of 5 major news cycles in this couple of months in the beginning of 2020 that probably never happened. So this is very, very much a new, or probably never happened, certainly never happened in our modern era. So this is certainly something different. Of course, that we have. We are going, when Pluto, which is the planet of transformation, the Greek goddess of the underworld, when he reached Capricorn, which is the sign of the institutions and of governments and power, in 2008, the crash on Wall Street began. So it was quite symbolic also, of course literal, but quite symbolic of what we had ahead of us in this clash of, we are in a clash of waves, in the old narrative and a new narrative, which has a lot to do with what we, probably you have heard about the age of Aquarius, which is an age of synthesis. I mean, it's kind of a synthesis of feminine and masculine, inside and outside, right and left hemisphere. I mean, it's quite intelligent, because it's the sign of the genius, right? So it will unfold. We have Saturn in Aquarius for three days ago. So Saturn is the structure, rules the structures and of the old society, all societies. So we are going to have huge opportunities to be more creative, to be more innovative, and certainly to be more solid, to have more solidarity, and to be more conscious in regarding to our all our structures. I would say that all these Jupiter conjunct Pluto, for instance, Jupiter is in Capricorn. All of them in the sky are in Capricorn, which is the sign of the structures. So this is a huge momentum. This is quite different from everything we are going to live, and we lived in the modern era. This is really what we have to bear in mind. It is a huge opportunity as well. Yeah. We can no longer we have to have a new mindset. Mm-hmm. We have to reach our hands. It is interesting that this virus, as it urges us to take care of ourselves, that means that movement also helps the others. So it's quite Aquarius in a way that when I take care of myself, I can take care of the other, because I am preventing infection, and vice versa. Yeah. So and this retreat, this forced retreat, to prepare ourselves, because in this year we are going to have a rehearsal of what will be the next 3 years, with Saturn in Aquarius, which is the sign of innovation, scientific evolution. So we are going to have massive evolution and developments in science and technology, and of course in new the financial system. What we value will change. That is part of the new mindset, because we have also Uranus in Taurus, which is a completely new aesthetics and a completely new set of values, and the way we value money, the way we...
Sophie's question on, what your expectations are for the changes and the healing. When does the healing start?
Well, the healing certainly has already begun. We are healing the broken parts of ourselves individually and collectively. And 2020 will be such a huge year of healing. And each era needs kind of an image. Jungians used to say that each era needs an image that has the enough power, the numinous power, to constellate our collective unconscious and to inspire us into what to do next. And for me, one of these images is the Earth seen from the moon, as the astronauts have seen it. Because when they see the Earth from the moon, there are no frontiers, there are no walls, there are no, everything is one. And that is for me an image that has that numinous power of inspiring us for the next millennia. Of course, that, or for the next times. Of course, that nature has its own pace, and there is a time to sow and a time to reap, and we have to respect that. Also, I believe that from March to May, we will be focusing on how we can move on, rejuvenate, revitalize, and go anew. It's a very good time for healing, psychically and physically. Of course, that also, and healing is becoming whole, of course, because, of course, that we were sent home to our couches, and my father was sent to war, and my grandfathers. Of course, that it should not be that difficult for me to be in the couch. For some people, it is, because we have to face our own demons and our own. When the pace is slowing down, we're going to face our own voids, and so. But it's a huge opportunity. I can't wait to see how the human genius will create new solutions for the highest good of all. And we can see in Portugal some movements from the government already helping financially, economically. I'm very hopeful. Also, I could say, Anna, that in this there is a small part of the astrological influence that would say that somebody could try to steal your copyrighted material. So it's an excellent time, just a small parenthesis here, for us to create and re-strategize our brandings. So hiring a brand strategist, a marketing expert, to reinforce our entrepreneurship and our project, it would be a good thing to do. Of course, that when Uranus went into Aquarius, and the explosion of the internet, the universe gave us this immense resource and tool to be connected like one Earth. But the expansion of information is not equal to expansion of wisdom. And we have to be aware of that as well. And the expansion of consciousness. We have to do things differently, and we will do it.
I love that, Vera. I love that. The expansion of information is not equal to the expansion of wisdom. I mean, this is so on point.
I would just like to say something to Caroline, because Jupiter in Capricorn is not very, it's hard work, is discipline, is focus. So we must really do that in terms of, and focus in one or two possibilities and grow that innovation. But later this year, when Jupiter arrives into Aquarius, it will be better for the tourism and the flying and the travels. So we have to have hope, because things will get better, of course.
I love it. Vera, you said something before I ask everybody else to weigh in before we wrap up today. You talked about the void, and for many people who have physical businesses, like in Caroline's industry, who probably have loans and they have bills to pay and their insurance isn't going to cover it, they find themselves in that sort of void, but also that depression where as you spoke about, those demons are coming to talk, like, how long is this going to go on? Will I make it? Will I lose everything? What do you have to say to those people who are going through the emotional turmoil at this time?
For me, it's a question of going first inside of ourselves. But where have we placed ourselves? It's a new narrative we have to create. As Daniel said, we have to serve as never before. We were given talents, we were given genius, we were given so much resources to share, and we have to do it as never before. And we have to grow that. For me, it's growing in it's putting value where is the real value, which is for me also in our own souls. We have to reinforce that belief in ourselves and in love and in each other, because we will have to trust each other more than ever, in all industries, in all businesses, and we can expect, I believe that we can expect new solutions from our government and our politicians and everybody, because there are people that we have to have new solutions. In Portugal, they are approving a law where people won't have to pay their rents for some months, because if they don't have income, they will not pay the rent. Yeah. That would be a solution, temporary solution, for instance. Yeah. I don't know if I answered that, but we will see.
I do get you. I do get where you're going, like maybe banks. So we're going to see more support. So they should not really spiral into too much fear, because they're going to get more support from governments, from banks, from institutions.
On one side. On the other side, people are being, I have seen people becoming so more creative, CEOs from companies, that what they really wanted was write poetry and being coaches, and they are to get out of the closet. I mean, it's quite
it's true.
What is going on? I mean, it's unbelievable. And I have seen this, I'm watching this all over, so this for me, it's hopeful, because people are just honoring the gifts they have been given, and we are just breaking with the status quo in a global scale and creating new narratives. Everything is possible.
Yeah. I'd love to, Caroline, because